Alright, what's up guys? So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a cool build for retrieve the data and a cool constructor to play. This is inspired by SlyGumbi. If you've ever heard of him as a YouTuber, it's sort of kind of the same idea, but for this it does require some competent players, and you know, you can do it with one other person, but I would take at least 2 other people with you. So basically we're looking at hotfixer hazard here. So if we actually go to inspect this guy, this whole speciality is going to be with repair speed. So you've got him who passively increases his repair speed by 20%, plus he has power modulation, he's got reduced building cost and recycling. So with the way that I'm going to show you right now, you actually won't be spending any resources at all, because with this recycling and the amount that you use, you'll get at least that amount back over the course of time. So ability wise, we're going to be using banner, fully upgraded banner at least, and the other ability can be either turret. I like using adrenaline rush though, so I can pick up down teammates easily, and but you can use slow field or turret if you'd like. We also have our support squad slot as sentinel hype, or anybody that would give the hotfix support squad ability, increasing repair rate by again another 20%. So if we go to see all stats here, we see that our repair speed is actually at 980%. So we're going to just do a simple 1x1 type of defense here, and I'll show you how that's done. So we're going to be doing a level 100, and this actually has some dangerous modifiers on it. Exploding deathburst and slowing attacks is a pretty lethal combination. But we've been doing this sort of build and setup for the past like 10 or so times, maybe even more than that, and it's been working pretty great. Okay, so at the beginning of the mission, just to go over a few things, it'll tell you what element you should be expecting. So pretty much to start off with, when you get in here, you want to just throw it on the banner, that way the cooldown activates. Throw it right by the data where that's going to drop at, and that'll act as a spawn point for your friends. So they'll be actually able to just go in a little bit more recklessly, and if they drop them, they can just go right in. So this is actually water, so we're going to use metal. So pretty much the way to remember this for elemental type is, I remember it by saying liquid metal. For some reason, I can always remember because that can be a little bit confusing for me sometimes. So if it's water, metal; if it's anything else, then use stone. So this is basically what we're going to do here, is we're just going to do our typical, our typical square as such. Okay. And then we're going to put our floor launchers down. And then we're actually going to add one here that's just going to be temporary, because we're just going to put our base on it. So we can't shoot this data balloon down until there's 8 minutes left on the clock, or 7 minutes and 59 seconds to be exact. So this will actually generate the metal that we use for this thing ahead of time, and we'll be able to get this portion back. So as you can see, the upgrade cost and the building cost for each piece is half. So that's helpful. And I guess I'll just probably record this whole mission instead of stopping and recording, or at least up to the halfway point, to show you what's going on here. So we're upgrading everything thrice, and then once it is, what you want to do is on the back spot, or if like it's back in a corner somewhere, the least likely spot that they're gonna be coming in from, you put your door on that side. But in this case, we can just pick a spot. So we'll put a door and a window, and then a window here, and then we can't build any more of this right now. So after the balloon drops, we'll finish the build, and when we do finish, we're going to go ahead and get our walls ready ahead of time with a window in them. And we're going to just do this one here, and basically the same that we have on these two. We're going to put a floor and a backward stairs or ramp, and a floor and a backward stairs again or ramp. And then basically, just to be really technical about it, you want to stand like right here. And as soon as the 8-minute mark hits, either have your buddy or you yourself can shoot out of the sky, put the roof right on top, put your base down on that, and then put your put a triangle on top of the base, so that it takes less damage or less chance of it getting destroyed by something. It's also important to keep in mind that if you are doing it with competent people on voice chat, to tell them not to stand on top of this thing while they're fighting, because if lobbers target them, it'll end up hitting the base ability and kind of destroy that. So right now we already have our metal regenerating here, so we should have, as long as we get 180 back by the time this thing pops, which I did drop it down a little bit late, so we may or may not, then that'll replenish our cost for this half of it, and then we'll get, you know, at least 300, I think, by the end, as long as it doesn't get destroyed, and that'll actually leave us with the same amount of metal or resource, whatever you end up using, stone or metal, that we started with or more, so you don't have to waste time, you know, getting more resources. This could be just if you're sitting to grind, retrieve the data missions or something like that for the next several hours, then you don't have to worry about anybody donating resources or big huge builds and stuff like that. So I guess I'll preemptively explain what's going to be happening here after. So when you see the 8-minute mark hit, you'll see me quickly build. Sometimes these guys will help out with it, sometimes they won't. Either way, as long as I'm relatively quick on it, they might get one data destroyed depending on how close the spawn point is before I can get the build up. But essentially what we're going to be doing is after this drops, we're just going to be running in circles and repairing the ramps through the windows, and that's it. And then basically the reason why we come to the data site and put the banner down first is because it's got a 5-minute cooldown, or 4 and change or something like that. So this actually acts as a spawn point too when it's fully upgraded, and so it'll be ready to go again once the data drops. So you're going to use banner as like sort of your oh shit button. With the repair speed the way it is at 980%, it's pretty easy to just keep everything repaired. The only real difficulty you'll have is with smashers, and so long as you have teammates that are taking care of the smashers, you should be able to pretty much out repair everything else. So that's pretty much why you need some competent players. If smashers start coming through and destroying things too quickly, then things go awry. Let me take care of these guys real quick. Exploding deathburst and slowing attacks is a pretty lethal combination. So alright, so like I said, you're going to be going around in circles and repairing stuff through the windows, which is why we have the windows on here. The reason why we have a door on here is so if when your teammates go down, which with this sort of attack sort of active modifiers, it's typical that they will, but they can just respawn without having to worry about trying to be revived by another teammate. No Rambo revives, as they say, and they can just go right out the door and get back into the fight that easily. The second thing for the banner is, of course, as I was saying, the oh shit button. As soon as you see one of these ramps, when you're going in circles and repairing through the windows, as soon as you see one of them at like half health, if you're in party chat, just tell them like west side or north side or east side or south side. That's kind of what I do anyways. If I see one part of the ramp that's way lower than the rest, then they go and just clear that out. But when you do see one ramp that's lower than a lot of the rest, then you throw down that banner again, and what that'll do is it'll regenerate all the building pieces right next to it, which is really great. It'll regain a ton of their health back and give them like 250% or something like that structure resistance. So it is like basically, like I said, your oh shit button. You hit that, you can hit it a couple times throughout, and it'll last for 45 seconds. But the respawn portion of it, allowing teammates to respawn on the banner, will just be there permanently. However, the buff that the banner gives will only last 45 seconds, but that's still a good chunk of time. And you know, when you see a ramp about to go down, you can do that. Also, what you want to do is if a ramp does go down, you could just immediately replace it again through the window. Just make sure it's pointed the right direction ahead of time so you don't accidentally build it the wrong way, which I've done before. So that's pretty much it, and in 2 minutes we'll be able to see exactly how that works. So I think I might actually pause recording here and then come back in again when it's ready. So yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so we've got 15 seconds left, and as soon as that time hits, I'll be ready to build what I need on top of it, and then put the walls down and we'll be good to go. Got the base, got the ceiling, got the triangle. This guy kind of knows what I'm doing already, so he's helping me out with that. Let me put our floor traps down here real quick. You have to be kind of quick. Once you get a second upgrade on this stuff, you can kind of just go inside and upgrade the rest at that point. So I'm going to head in here. And you just give it the old runaround. Now there is sometimes in certain particular scenarios where shit might go down. For example, on this exploding deathburst one, it's glitchy sometimes. Like, you gotta kind of watch and see. Sometimes you end up losing a file or two, which the last few have been fine for us, but if you do end up losing a file or two, it's still fine. And the only other thing you really got to worry about is takers. Takers will sometimes warp to the inside of your little structure, and so if that's the case, you just have to kill them. But for the most part, I'm just going through here and just repairing everything. There's times where it gets a little bit more chaotic, and when that happens, then you just hit that banner again. And this might make some of you dizzy, and you may not want to watch this for 6 minutes, but for those interested, I don't know what's going to happen in here. It might be more exciting than what it might end up being. But this is your view, and it's sort of a, obviously if you've seen my offensive constructor video, and they released a couple patches since then, one that broke decoy and then one that again fixed decoy, but I've been noticing a real decrease on the amount of damage that plasma pulse does, and I didn't read anything in the patch notes about it, but it did kind of break the build again. So I'm not sure if I already retired that guy actually, because I'm so tired of like things happening to it. And then I leveled up this guy, but I'm really liking this. I think it's a great little tiny compact build, again sort of inspired by SlyGumbi. His video has like, I love his stuff. It's so creative. I love looking at cool new ways to do things, and he sort of kind of perfected this little 1x1 thing. So as you can see, one of my teammates died here, by the way, and he's gonna probably hit the banner or respawn, and it'll put him right here, and he knows that there's a door to get right back in the fight again. If he was close enough to me, I could hit my adrenaline rush and get him up, which is why I like running adrenaline rush. But if you need more damage, if it's just you and one other guy, I would suggest running turret. You could throw up the turret here and it'll get some stuff, but more than likely you'll have to go out the door and throw it up in the air. One other reason why I like running adrenaline rush here too is because I just you have to make sure the constructor, if you're playing this class, does not go down. Sometimes like those beehive zombies will nick away at you a little bit, and if it's a really high level mission, it might end up killing you. So it's important that you stay alive more than anybody else, so you can keep these repairs up. But anyways, yeah, SlyGumbi's retrieved the data build when he did it with a few other people. It was like sort of the same idea, that the one constructor was like turning and repairing stuff, and the build though was a little bit more complex. So this is very, very simple build, very easy to do, quick to do, and doesn't cost a lot of resources, so you don't have to spend a lot of time in between the mission finding and collecting whatever metal or stone you had spent on the base. It's self-regenerating, so you get everything back. So right now I'm doing fine. Everything that's repair costs is pretty much just one. I'm also looking at the health of each ramp too to see what's, you know, everything's pretty much maxed, or staying maxed anyways. And so far so good. And here comes one with Taker. I have to take him down. So I saw my teammate was low on health, so I just hit that adrenaline rush right there. Okay, that's kind of going down, so I'm going to hit that. I might actually make it, I might not. I'm not entirely sure. If that does go down, then I'll show you what to do for that, but it might stay up because of banner. You can see that one's at much less health, but you can see how much recovery that banner just helped there. It auto-regened a bunch of health for the building structure, and it also provided it such fortification that even when it was about to drop down, it didn't. So that was my one-time use banner. If I threw it earlier, I could have got another use out of it, but I like to save it for just to use it when I need it, or if I need to. In that case, I needed to. Once the ramp goes down, if it does go down, you can simply, like I said, build another one through the window, and then just try and upgrade it as quick as you can as soon as it gets up. And if you're on voice chat with your teammates, you know, at that point, you'd want to tell them, you know, the south side needs attention. My teammates have a bit of a problem. He's getting reamed by blasters. It's tough. So everything's still full right now. And this is just a little 1x1 with some floor launchers and the stairs. Now, the floor launchers will sometimes deplete by the time the mission is done. If that's the case, it's, again, helpful to have a competent player be able to just put another one down if they need to. Oh, my base had actually gone down. I didn't realize. So if that happens, we just put the ramp up one like this, and then reset that. Unfortunately, because that did go down, I wasn't paying attention. We won't actually get the resources back this time. But usually the base stays up, so long as your teammates aren't up there and the lobbers aren't targeting your teammates, which is therefore damaging the base. So had that been the case, we would have been able to just run out here at about 10 seconds left and collect everything back. But unfortunately, of course, the one time that I mess it up is the time that I was doing the recording. But anyways, so that's the thing. So you got banner, you got adrenaline rush, or you can use, instead of adrenaline rush, you can use turret, or, you know, slow field if you want. You can throw a slow field from the inside. Then you got hot fixer hazard, specializes in the repair rate. And then you have the squad bonus, sentinel hype, I believe, whatever the squad bonus is that increases your repair rate even more. So anyways, just a cool character to use, specializing in that repair rate, and also great for, you know, working on your storm shield defense base as well, because you're able to build that up at a much cheaper rate, and you can upgrade buildings at half the cost, and you know, that whole thing. So hope this inspired some of you to maybe try this guy out. If you're looking to play a constructor, you don't necessarily have to have power-based Kyle. This is the guy that I would be using. I think at this point now, I definitely like the idea of just spinning around in circles and repairing and actually playing the Constructor as a Constructor and not trying to do damage at the same time. I think it's a really efficient way, and the group seems to like it. So hope this helps some of you guys, and have a great day.